Hello, hello, hello. I am your host, Mrs. M, and I'm so excited to be actually interviewing one of my favorite clients, Stan with Kleansing Touch. Hello, Stan.
Hey, Miss Sam, how you doing?
Good, real good. So I know that a lot of people, the purpose of the interview is to kind of give people a little bit of guidance and a little bit of background when it comes to government walkthroughs. I have people that contact me all the time, either YouTube, phone calls, or some of my students and clients that are petrified because they are ready to get government contracts, but now it's time to do the walkthrough and they are like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I wanted to do a little interview with you over a couple of things. For those of you that are watching this video, hold tight, stay tuned. We're going to get into it right now on what you need to do to have a successful government walkthrough. Okay, Stan. So first, what did you do to prepare for the walkthrough? So you found the bid, and then would you say how you found the bid? Was it on the bid site? Was it, it was like a state bid or a federal?
Yeah, it was a federal bid. I found it on the Manstar. There's so many platforms. The Manstar is actually one of the major ones as well.
We use that, give that to her. Exactly. Okay, so you found it on Demand Star. I know different states have different ones, federal, state, local. Okay, so once you found the bid, then what did you do to prepare for the walkthrough?
Of course, I contacted you.
Okay.
But I also tried to go through the package, even though it's long. I try to get as much as I can because, you know, technically preparation, really, there's not really much preparation because they go over everything when you go sit down to those bids.
Okay, so
that's what I'm noticing.
So that's what you noticed. So you went over the bid before you went, but actually now if you had to say, once you get there, there's other vendors there as well. And I'm just going to ask you how easy it is to seem like you can do any networking or connecting or teaming. But what you notice is they go over everything from start to finish. They give you the time frame that you can continue to select questions.
That's right.
Any questions they have, they answer later. So what would you say, is that pretty much the gist of it?
That's pretty much the gist of it. They'll also say to you, you know, there's some stuff that they'll say. For example, you see the bid budget, and then you want to know how long it is, and it might not be clear. They'll tell you stuff like, it's in the bid. You gotta look at the bid. Definitely, I would encourage to really carefully try your best to look in that bid. I mean, we'll be honest, those bids look boring, but listen, at the end of the day, you're running your own business. You want a better life for yourself. You want to do what you don't want to do. And that's one of those things you got to do. You got to go.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we've done in our course, Stan was actually one of our clients, but one of the things we do is, as a client, we try our best to teach you. And then if you're one of our students, you actually get the bid breakdown, just like you said. We tell you what to look for in section A, B, C, D, because that is important. And they're not there to hold your hand. They're looking at you as CEOs, grown-ups, and that this is what you came to do. So they're not going to hold your hand, but they will give you very, very pertinent information, but you are going to have to be responsible for going through the bid. I always suggest try your best to print it out. To me, when I first got started, printing it out helped me out a lot. Printing it out, highlighting, then I started to get used to it, and I knew that everything was pretty much in the same area. The scope of work is going to be similar.
Right, exactly.
And so once you start to understand where it's going to be laid out, it makes it easier. Okay, so Stan, would you say that there were easy opportunities to meet people? Were there any contracting officers there? Were anyone that you could, so there were contracting officers?
Contract officers there. They're sitting right there with you. The people that they were there, I believe they were not contracting officers, if I'm not mistaken. They were just there just to inform us what we need to do. And
so like key personnel kind of
thing. Yeah. When it comes to trying to contact with people, it's pretty easy. But the people that are there, they want to make sure you know what you're talking about. My key thing to tell people, if you want to contact people, when you go on a walkthroughs, just look around when the time for because you're gonna be going through walkthroughs with your group. Look around and say stuff that will catch their attention. For example, I found a fellow, and I'm just looking around. I'm looking at the floor. I'm like, man, they're leaving a lot of streaks. Yeah, a lot of streaks. I'm like, man, they're supposed to do this and that. just speak your, even if you have a little knowledge, speak it, because they're gonna think you know what you're talking about. Like, okay, he might know what to do. You go to a place like, yeah, they just, this is good, the floor is nice. All it needs is just mop and buff, and then little things like
Right.
that, and they're
Little
like,
things like
okay,
that, little nuggets like that allow them to know that you're the
you,
expert, which is what
yeah,
that agency wants. Their goal is to find a company that's going to be successful at giving them what they want and you getting what you want, which is a contract. And what's so great about government contracts is they last for years. So the last thing I'd ask, or one of the last things, was it easy, or could you tell it was easy to do any networking and teaming up with other vendors? Were people amenable to passing out their business cards? Did it seem like it was a nice atmosphere to maybe meet some people that in the future, if you get a really large bid, you could break it down and you could kind of team up? Did you notice that?
yes, the group I was with, it was a good group, I can say that, and they were all nice. But at the same time, some people, they have the mindset, I gotta win this for me. But I think when you're nice to them during the walkthroughs and you talk to them and you show that you're not, you're willing to work with, and then you can just talk to them like normal, because people, you got to kind of break down some walls there, because there's a non-trusting, it's stealing my money kind of
Right. So once
thing.
again, you want to have that abundance mindset. There is enough out there for all of us.
All
Trust
of
me,
us,
I
yeah.
know people are winning $10 million contracts,
Right.
$100,000 contracts, 25,000, 5 million. So this is the largest employer in the world. So we all can get a piece of the pie. So one last question, Stan.
Yes, man.
What would you say is one of the biggest differences? You've been getting a lot of walkthroughs, been really busy, you've been marketing, you've learned to implement some of the things you've learned from us, which we're really happy about.
Yep.
You've been with us for over about a year now. What would you say is one of the major differences in a commercial walkthrough and a government walkthrough? Or are they the same? What would you say?
The big difference. When you're doing when you're doing a commercial walkthrough, you have to do the numbers yourself most of the
Okay,
time.
that's true.
You gotta actually do your own research. You get a commercial, you get the address. You could just look up the address, get the square feet, and you could, even if you're able to, find the pictures and see what it is. And then when you go there, you already have an estimate, but you're gonna act like you don't know, and just talk to them, and then just talk it out so that we could just get comfortable with whomever is in charge of that facility. That's the only reason you're gonna go there, just to be to get the person who's in charge comfortable with you. But you pre-do your homework with commercial. But when you're
Good, real
doing,
good. So kind of look and see if you can find it on one of
yeah,
those, like LoopNet has a lot of square footage and pictures.
exactly,
So
yeah,
real estate site, commercial real estate. Okay, good point. And what would be the other thing?
and
And you're
just
saying
that
government, they have
government,
everything.
they have everything. But just real quick with the commercial, sometimes you don't find it, so you just got to know what you're looking at when you get there, for commercial. But when you do government, they take you there, they tell you the numbers, they show you everything, and they tell you what needs to be done. And even if they don't, you should already know what they want done, because obviously there's a scope of work in the package, so you got to really pay attention to that, because federal people do not play when it comes to cleaning. You can get fined. At least I think some places they'll do 2,500 for that one spot that you didn't clean. The more they give you a warning after the next warning, then I think it's like 3 warnings after on the third one, you'll get fined like $2,500 because you didn't clean that one spot.
One of the things I love about government is you really are going to be able to stretch your stuff when you get to commercial. Why? Because government is more challenging and they're more strict. So when you can go and do government, commercial is going to be a lot easier, in my opinion, from what I've noticed. I started out doing commercial first, but I started doing warehouses, so they were very challenging, in daycares. Those aren't easy cleans. So it prepared me for doing government. But I love commercial and I love government. Not a big fan of residential. Some people are. I'm not.
Oh my God.
They can be challenging.
Lord.
Yes, government is my sweet spot in commercial. Well,
Right.
Stan, thank you so much for doing the
Thank
interview. My
you.
hope
Thank
is that it
you.
helps other individuals. And
Yes.
like I said, if you guys want to learn more about what Stan's talking about, from walkthroughs to all the bits and pieces of marketing to government buyers, to reading the bid proposals that we're speaking about, then make sure you do one thing. Click in the description below to actually come to our free masterclass. That's how we met Stan. He signed up and he came, and the rest is history. So thank you so much, Dan. I
My
wish you much
pleasure.
success.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
thank you,
much.
thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.